What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you on Thursday afternoon. Well, if you haven't heard the news yet, you're going to hear it now. South Carolina suffered its first major loss of the 2020 college football season. It wasn't even a loss on the scoreboard. Freshman running back, highly rated 4-star, maybe even 5-star, depending on which board you're looking at. Recruit Marshawn Lloyd, who is expected to be the starter at the running back position for South Carolina this year, or was, tore his ACL in practice on Wednesday and will not be available for the 2020 season. Injury occurred in a non-contact drill. Y'all, non-contact drill. I don't know what to say other than, I hate it for the guy. I mean, I really do. I hate it for him. I mean, you're just less than a year out of high school. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, transferred high schools so that he could enroll at South Carolina early. I think I'm correct in saying that. I think he's the young man who did that. He was an early enrollee, so he was there a little bit in the spring, what limited spring practice that we had. Saw nothing but great things from him. And now his freshman season's gone. I mean, albeit this season is still up in the air, in my opinion. It's still up in the air whether it's going to get completed, whether it's going to get started at all. I'm pretty sold on the fact that it is going to get started, but I'm not sure if it's going to get totally completed. It just sucks. It sucks all the way around. It sucks for him because he's got to, put the brakes on for an entire year before he's going to be able to see the field again competitively. And God, it really sucks for this football team and this football program. And I'm not just saying that because he wasn't just a highly rated recruit. He wasn't just a highly rated recruit. This guy is special. This was the number 11 highest rated player to ever sign with our program. He's the number 4 running back in the country last year, according to 24/7 Sports Composite. He's awesome. I mean, if you've had the pleasure of watching his film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not watched his film, please go on YouTube and search out Marshawn Lloyd 2019 highlights, 2000 or whatever. I mean, the dude is absolutely sensational. I mean, he's hurdling guys, making all kind of moves in space. That is really, really something that we've been lacking down there. And was he going to be the key component in turning us around to contend for an SEC East championship this year? No, he wasn't. The talent piece, he's got it down. I think the leadership piece and the maturity piece and all that would come with time. And I really think that this guy would have been, despite his young age, I think he would have been the star on the offensive side of the football for South Carolina. I mean, you need to be successful in not just the SEC, but in any conference. I mean, you have to have some elite playmakers on your team. You have to. Right now, we have 0 elite playmakers on offense. We just do. We just don't, rather. We just don't have any elite playmakers. I mean, we have a few decent playmakers. We have a few that have potential, but I'm telling you, no bones about it, this guy was going to be special this year. He was going to have a really, really solid freshman season, in my opinion. I thought he'd rush for 1,000 yards, and that's just in a 10-game season. So that's averaging 100 yards a game, and I'm not talking about averaging 100 yards against a Charleston Southern or Coastal Carolina. I'm talking about averaging 100 yards a game against competition such as Auburn, Texas A&M, and Georgia, and teams like that. I mean, the schedule got infinitely tougher when it became an all-SEC schedule, and then you took three winnable non-con games. Of course, the Clemson game, it's another story that it took off, but it sucks, really, really does. And guys, I mean, I gotta level with you. I don't place blame on injuries really on anybody, or I try not to sound like I'm doing that. But we changed strength and conditioning coaches this year. We out with the old one, in with the new. Tony Jackson come in from Ole Miss, took over as strength and conditioning coach from Muschamp this year, and so there's that. I mean, we got a new guy there, and all of a sudden you see second day of practice, and this may just be a thing. It could be nothing. It really could. But you know that we have had significant injuries on this team over the years. But the past 4 years, ever since Will Muschamp has been in Columbia, we've seen a lot of star players miss a lot of time with injuries. And I just got to think back, man. And I'm not making excuses. I got to think back to a lot of them, and I just wonder and just ponder, what would those final scores have looked like in some of those games if just 60% of those guys had been healthy? 60% of them. You want to laugh, but go back and look at the 2018 game against Clemson. We were missing 8 starters in that football game, I believe. And we kept it close, yardage-wise, over 500 and something yards on a really good Clemson defense. Tater fan can sit here all they want and tell me that Brent Venables was getting ready for the ACC championship game. He was getting ready for Alabama. He was prepping for that. He was trying to throw them off and lull them to sleep, playing possum, whatever kind of adjective or bullshit you want to come up with. The fact of the matter is, we moved the ball on them. It was on the defensive side of the ball in that game where we had huge losses. I mean, what would the score have looked like? And I'm not being a homer. I'm not being unrealistic here. We could have won that ball game. The offense played well enough to win it. And there have been other games like that too. But that's the one that obviously just sticks out in my mind the most because it's Clemson or whatever. But this seems to be a constant with him. It seems to be a damn constant. Under Armour, the cleats we use, has been blamed for some of the injuries. Connor Shaw, back in his time at South Carolina, complained about Under Armour and the cleats. He didn't like them. Lord, I would have thought that we would have switched suppliers by now, as long as it's been since he's been gone. He ain't played since the 2013 season. So, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, you'd think that if it had been proven that was the case, that you'd change by now. But it's just, I don't understand. I mean, a soft tissue injury during a non-contact drill, and I don't really know what that drill was. I'm not sure, what they were doing at the time. It actually happened yesterday. It just came to light today. Obviously the practices are closed, and with the virus going around, they're on lockdown even more. So that we just now got the news. I mean, it's a soft tissue injury. You got to think, I mean, are they not being hydrated properly? Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know anything else that could be. He's torn his ACL now. The likelihood that he will tear that ACL again, it's slim, but it's possible. And you can argue that point with me if you want. I actually researched that before I made this video because I didn't know. I wanted to watch and find out about it. And watched a little video, a short one, an orthopedic surgeon in California did a couple years ago. Said the chances are about 5 to 7% that you'll re-injure the same or the other ACL on the opposite knee after you've injured it once. So hopefully this doesn't happen to the young man again. Could he come back and play this year? Probably not. I don't think they're going to risk that. If you will remember, back in 2014, Deshaun Watson, when he played for Clemson during his freshman season, he tore his ACL against Georgia Tech. They band-aided it up, and he came back 3 weeks later and kicked our ass on one wheel, wearing a knee brace. So I don't think they're going to take that kind of risk with Marshawn Lloyd. It's not to the point where you would even need to do that, and that wouldn't even be considered. Looking at who we've got right now in the backfield, Kevin Harris is there. Kid's a sophomore. I believe he saw enough action to become a sophomore this year. Last year as a true freshman, I mean, he had a couple of 100-yard games. Showed out in the game against Charleston Southern. Yeah, I realize it's just Charleston Southern, but he looked really good there. I don't know why he didn't get a lot of playing time. I mean, he did have Tavian Feaster and Rico Dowdle both in front of him. Both those guys were seniors and had been, of course, Dowdle with the program for 4 years. Feaster was a transfer, but they both had seen significant playing time over the span of those 4 years, and were obviously the better backs. They were just more experienced. So maybe that's why he didn't play a lot, but he did well in the opportunities that he was given. You have Deshaun Fenwick. This is a kid who has really shown some progress and some speed at times. He rushed for 100 yards in games against Vanderbilt and a couple of years ago against UT Chat. I think he's a sophomore, though. He hadn't really had a lot of playing time. I think they gave him a red shirt his first year. He's really good. And then we have, his name is Jaquandre White, I believe is his name. A kid who is a JUCO transfer from a JUCO out in Iowa, where he rushed for like 800-something yards last year. We'll see. I mean, that's some pretty decent stats. So now, I mean, my thoughts, this is why I didn't do a game-by-game breakdown yet. And I won't do one probably until about a week before it's time to start, is because things like this can happen that can totally screw your picks all to hell. I mean, they can. And losing a kid like this, even though he has not played it down yet in a Gamecock uniform, I just know that he was going to be special this year and was going to have a special year. Here's to a quick recovery for you, Marshawn. I hope you have that special year next year. And, I hope we get to see you for a full 3 years on the field in a Gamecock uniform. Why do I say that? Because I know that this kid has the potential and the talent to play on Sundays. He is that good. Hopefully he'll be with us for 3 years at least, and we'll get to see Marshawn rewrite some records. We're just going to have to wait a while to do it, I guess. Muschamp, dude, I ain't blaming you for this because I don't know the details. I don't know the ins and outs. All I can do is look at it from a casual fan point of view, and it's not a good look. It really isn't. And I hope we don't see any more of this year. I really don't. I don't know what the injury numbers looked like at Florida when Muschamp was the coach there. I know what the offensive numbers look like, and they look like shit. I'm not sure about his injury numbers down there. If we got any Gator fans who are subs, I know I got some. They don't always comment a lot on the videos unless we're actually playing the Gators or I'm talking Florida. Maybe you could chime in and let me know a little nugget about how injuries were when Muschamp was the head coach at Florida. Probably a period you'd like to forget. Obviously, you probably have blocked most of that out of your memory, but chime in if you know something. But hopefully there's no more depressing news today. I will see you guys later. I appreciate you watching. Please hit it with a like, comment if you wish, sub to the channel if you're not already subbed, and stay tuned for another video coming up real soon. We're going to talk about another channel that's going to be taking off here real soon. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out. Spurs up to my toes up, baby. Fire Coach Boomy. Woo!